Hey, planner friends, and welcome to the first episode of my Back to Basics mini-series. If you're just getting started or you just need to rethink your planner system, then this video is for you. I have my coffee. Hopefully you have a drink too. My name is Tammy, and this is going to be a pretty chatty video. I'm going to talk today about why I personally use a paper planner. So if that sounds interesting, then I hope you'll stick around. If there's any background noise, then I apologize right now for that. I am sitting on my front porch enjoying the day because it's absolutely beautiful out right now. But anyhow, let's get into why I personally use a paper planner, why it's my preference. So, the first thing I want to say is that when I write things down, it helps me to remember my plans. For some reason, when I am writing things down in my planner or on a wall calendar, or sometimes even on my whiteboard at home that we have in our kitchen, it just kind of locks it into my brain that I have something to do. Now, there are times I don't always remember exactly what date or what time, but I do tend to do better with remembering that it's coming up and that I need to check on that. I'll give you an example. My dog gets his nails clipped at the groomers once a month, and I can pretty much tell when that's about to happen because I write it down in my planner. We always get an appointment card, but writing it down when I make the appointment somehow helps me remember around what date that's supposed to happen. Now, the time I always have to check on, but it kind of puts a little flag in my brain to check on when is Bowie getting his nails clipped again. And I can flip to that page. I think if I was to put it in my phone calendar, I wouldn't remember as well. I realize I would be getting a notification, but that brings me to another reason why I prefer using paper planners is that it's less screen time. Sometimes I just want a break from my phone. I don't always want notifications going off, on top of the fact that sometimes using your phone can be very distracting. I don't know about you, but when I'm on my phone, it's very easy for me to remember, oh, I was going to buy that, and then flip over to Amazon. And before you know it, I am going down the rabbit hole of all the things in my Amazon cart. Or worse yet, is when you think, oh, maybe I should check on Instagram or Facebook. Those are traps. And sometimes just getting away from your cell phone is the answer. So for me, it's more peaceful to use a paper planner because then I don't have all these notifications in my face and I'm not as distracted. Another reason that I prefer using a paper planner is that for me, it's a creative outlet. Washi tape, stickers, Tombow markers, colored pens, all of that stuff brings me joy. So why wouldn't I want to use it in my paper planner? Yes, I do use my planner functionally. It does serve a purpose. It reminds me of tasks and to-dos that I need to take care of. But I can also use it creatively and draw or decorate how I see fit. It's fun. And why not? Also, going back to the cell phone thing, there's no tech required for a paper planner. So if the power goes out or I'm in an area where there's no Wi-Fi, this does not glitch. It's always ready when I am. I can control that. And that, again, brings me some peace. I don't like the idea that if I'm not connected to electricity or Wi Fi, I could be without some very vital information. At least that's how I think of it. Again, this is all my opinion. Another reason is that for me, planning equals mindfulness. You're watching me right now set up a spread in my Hobonichi Weeks that I've been using as a health journal. I've kind of slipped a bit. I've skipped a week here and there, and I need to get back to paying attention to my health. So I'm setting up this week so that I can be mindful about my health and my wellness. I use this to track my mood, my gratitude, things like water intake to make sure I'm hydrating, and movement, making sure that I'm getting enough exercise throughout my week. This is a wellness tool, not just a schedule. But for me, that's very important and it brings me back to taking care of myself. So, planning in this way is for mindfulness, or I guess you could even say for self care. So, that's just another reason why I prefer a paper planner. I don't feel like you get the same thing from an app on your phone, at least in my opinion. Again, another reason that I prefer paper planning is that it gives you that feeling of accomplishment when you complete a task and you can cross it off or check it off in your planner. Sometimes I like to write down the things that I did, like a to-do list rather than a to-do list. That way I can see what I actually am doing. Being so busy, you don't even realize the things that you're doing, and it can go kind of unnoticed even by yourself. So it helps sometimes to write down, hey, I did this. I did the laundry. I cooked dinner. I made the beds. I swept the floors. I cleaned the bathroom, fed the kids, gave them a bath. And then you realize, wow, so this is why I'm so tired. I actually did a lot in my day, which I suppose actually goes back to mindful and slowing down just a bit to reflect on your day and what you actually have accomplished. Another reason that I prefer paper planning is how very customizable it is. You can make it your own. There is no one way to plan. Whether you're a mom, a business owner, a student, or just figuring life out, there's a layout or setup out there that fits you. And if you're like me, you've probably got more than one going at a time. I like that just about any planner that you use can be customized to fit your lifestyle. You can put whatever information you want to. Somebody using one planner for, let's say, faith planning, somebody else could be using the exact same planner for budget or maybe for homeschool. I love how very customizable each and every planner can be. So, paper planning to me is a lot more flexible than a calendar that you would see online or like a Google Calendar, because those, it's strictly like appointments. I mean, you're not going to use that for faith planning or for wellness. I like that you can customize a paper planner so much easier. Another reason that I prefer planning in a paper planner is that it becomes a keepsake. I love flipping through old planners. It's like a time capsule, seeing what you were doing, what mattered to you, and even how your styles changed over time. If you're somebody like me that likes to decorate your planner, it's really fun to go back and remember different stickers that you placed down or different ways that you decorated your pages. It can bring some joy or some spark back into your love of planning and your hobby. Also, it can remind you of where your children were at that point in time. If you're a mom like I am, you know how fast they can grow up. And it's really nice to look back and remember how it was when they were little and what they were going through and what you've already accomplished, what you've actually overcome. Maybe you've overcome some health obstacles or some other tough journeys, and looking back reminds you that, hey, I can do hard things. So that's another reason that I do like having paper planners. This one right here is my passion planner that some of you already know I am using as this year's keepsake. I'm using it as a journal and a keepsake of just memories that I want to look back at so that down the road, when I want to see what we were doing in 2025, I'll be pulling this planner out. So I want to thank you for tuning in for my little planner chat of why I like using a paper planner and why I think that it's still relevant even in 2025. So tell me, why do you use a paper planner? Or if you're just getting into it, what are you hoping it will help you with? Let's chat in the comments. And hey, if this video gave you some ideas or encouragement, then please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and stick around for some more cozy planning videos. Remember to tune in for my other videos in this Back to Basics series. I'm going to be chatting about monthly layouts, weekly layouts, daily pages, all sorts of things. So if you like planner chats, then definitely tune in. Until next time, happy planning.